Good evening, everybody. Stevie, just tell everybody you were watching the Habs and the Leafs because you're a big hockey fan, and
No, I had to get my son from the corner of the street.
we got a couple of Toronto fans over there, and some Habs fans. But you know what? Let's get into it because this is going to be a long one. Here we go.
You are listening to the Milan Weekly Podcast, the English voice of Radio Rossonera and Milan fans all over the world.
Donnarumma and the double, sensational from him. Rafael Leao produces a moment of utter magic.
Theo Hernandez al gol! Theo Hernandez! Ancora lui! Una meraviglia!
Ibrahimovic! Zlatan Ibrahimovic! Fuori classe assoluto!
Cari amici sportivi, welcome yet to another edition of the Milan Weekly Podcast. Here we talk everything Milan, the yearly review Milan, and when will Vinny and Stevie start fighting? How many minutes, Milan? And well, we're not professionals.
Nor do we pretend to be.
Stevie P, always here Mondays. I know that we got a couple of things to go through in the housekeeping stuff, other than becoming the Azzurri weekly podcast starting next week. But Stevie, I just want to take the time to get some stuff out of the way. Want to talk about the Rossoneri hard-fought battle. I don't know if you're able to catch a bit of that game there. Lost in penalties. Julia Simic, actually, that you got to interview, retiring from football, from soccer today, but a hard-fought battle. But I don't know if you got to catch a couple of glimpses or your good memories.
I watched it on the Milan app. Look, it was nice that we were able to watch it, and I think it was a back and forth game. The ladies really fought hard, and both teams were really going at it. There was missed chances. I think Milan will look back at this and the missed chances that they had and didn't take advantage of, and Roma finally wins a trophy.
Yeah, it's the truth. It's the truth. Speaking of Azzurri pods transitioning, Stevie P, this Thursday live, you'll be doing a podcast with local shop here, Evangelista Sports. Giveaways to be given out. We will be transitioning to, because let's be honest, guys, because of it's Serie A, it's going to be Azzurri weekly podcast and Mercato Madness, because Stevie P loves the Mercato Madness. But Stevie P, you got this coming on Thursday. I'm going to see if we do a Patreon special over the weekend. Then next week, somebody from Milan, this rescheduled podcast. But do you have any details about this upcoming one this Thursday?
No, just stay tuned. It's not this Thursday, the Thursday after. Just stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Wanted to take the chance, Stevie P. For the last 11 months, Mike Brennenshaw from Milan Club Ireland, Dublin, been supporting us on Patreon, and I wanted to take the time, second ever guy to, because Sabrina was the first ever one, but guys, I don't know if you realize, if it wasn't for Mike was one of the first guys that reached out to us, hey guys, discovered you English speaking, got us in touch with Milan Club Dublin, friendships now with him, with Colin, with Fabio, the president there. The Milan Weekly Podcast bingo. I just wanted to give him a shout out, Steve, because he was like, I don't feel so bad because I got you all these new Patreon members. I'm like, Mike, dude, honestly, even if it was just for 1 month, we appreciate it. But honestly, Stevie P, Mike was one of the first ones, was he not?
Mike was one of the first ones. We had the chance to speak to Mike multiple times, and usually when we were speaking to Mike, he was in his car. Imagine the dedication, right? So talking about Milan, a continent away, in his car, either not getting enough sleep or or just trying to get away from everybody. He was in his car talking to us about Milan. So
and the fact that it was probably 2:00 in the morning as well, that I just want to wake up the kids. But thank you, Mike, and welcome to newest member Kian on Patreon. And he paid us in Swedish money, Steve. So it looks like we're getting international money from everywhere. So welcome to him. Sweden. Stevie P, before we get into this yearly review, how did you feel seeing that Maldini president? I'm not going to play the video because we get caught on everything. But Stevie P, seeing Maldini talk there with in front of the ultras, spoken like a true professional. The feelings. How did you see this video today? What did you?
I think it was nice. I think it was the fans coming to Casa Milan to say thank you for making the Champions League. It was very well organized. Their tifo was great. There was a shot from I guess a drone or from however else they took that shot where AC Milan is back, and they're back. So it was nice to see some of the Milan management and Maldini come down and address the ultras. So look, it's passion, right? And a couple of times explaining to some friends that they watch North American sports and hockey. Maybe in football, American football, you do see it with the tailgate and those fans there. But in hockey, you do see it. But an example here is with the Canadians.
You wouldn't see fans, Steve, going up to Benjamin.
Exactly. You wouldn't see fans being greeted by the GM of the Montreal Canadiens. Anybody who says otherwise is lying to themselves. So, and if we put the pedigree, Bergevin, hockey player as well, but, Maldini, one of the greatest defenders ever probably to play the game of soccer, it's just not going to happen. So this is what Serie A, Milan need to market as a brand and as a passion to the fans. But they also have to remember, and again, it's not to cast any negativity on what happened today, but they also have to remember that there's a ton of us all over the world,
Sir. And I love the way he says, there were hard times and there will still be hard times, and this is just the beginning. So on that note, it was a great video, guys. Check it out. It's all over social media. But Stevie P, another thing that Presidente asked us to do, especially during this weekend, during the whole week, especially in our Milan chat, un silenzio stampa. We're not talking about Donnarumma until we get asked specific questions. We'll not talk about the fiasco when we give him his yearly review. But Stevie P, this is one of the first times that nobody listened to Presidente. He had to raise his voice on the second or third time.
Presidente put out the rule in the chat. Then Jan, another admin, put the rule in the chat. Then we just kept on talking about Donnarumma.
That chat, guys, honestly, you have it's left, right, up, and center. You have guys on one side, you have guys on the other side. Then you have Tommy coming in talking about how Ronaldo's not as good as Maradona. It's for everybody. Sometimes, guys, I'm sorry, I love you all, but I gotta mute you. But we are here not to talk about this chat. We are here to talk about our yearly review. Stevie P, thank you to Sonny for making these fantastic graphics. And we're going to start. Let me go get rid of this. Here we go. Look at these beautiful graphics that he made for us. Sonny, you outdid yourself once again. And he made it in the FIFA style, he told us, Stevie P. FIFA style. So here's where we're going to go, guys. We're going to go one after the other. And we're going to do 6 out of 10 is meets expectations. 8 out of 10 is exceeds expectations. And Stevie P, 10 out of 10, even though there's no such thing as perfection, 10 out of 10 is greatly exceeds expectations. Are you okay with that?
I'm okay.
And looking at all these stats, so let's look at the back out of the back lines of defenders. Let's start off, Stevie P, with you want to start with the top, with the bottom. What do you want to do?
Start from left to right, top.
Left to right. So Dalot on a loan. Doesn't look like he's going to stay right now, but Stevie, we're looking at 2,100 minutes played, 2 goals, 3 assists, 5 yellow cards. How about you, Steve? If you're looking at on a scale of 1 to 10, I know the way he started, if it was up to me, the way he started, there was a couple of rough patches there, but I'll let you answer this one. I'll see what I follow up.
For Dalot, my rating is his number, 5.
Really?
Not meets expectations. He was a bit disappointing.
So you're gonna take most of his like at the beginning, because at the end, Steve, when he was subbing on, you can't really complain of how he played. He was putting the crosses, and no, not even a 6.
5 for me.
5 for you. I'm gonna have to go. You know what? If we signed him, expectations. What were his expectations? I'm gonna go with a 6 on this one here, Steve, because to me, it just met expectations. He just played from whatever. So far, we're almost on the same page. Kalulu. We didn't see him as much. 1,100 minutes played, just 1 goal, 2 yellow cards. How are your feelings about Kalulu this year, Steve?
I think when he played, he did have some good moments and also had some bad moments, and then we never saw him again, right? So the youth of Kalulu did show up a couple of occasions when he was playing. I think emergency-wise, he filled in well. From a youngster of his age and not playing for most of his time his natural position, I think I agree with everybody that's putting in the chat there, Kalulu 6. I think he met his expectations of, coming in, being young, not having to play center back. We couldn't ask more from what he did with the minutes he was able to play.
I'm going to go one more, Steve, and go probably 7 on him, because to me, he didn't meet expectations. He kind of exceeded them because nobody was expecting him to play center back and then change roles. So, yes, we didn't see enough of him. But for me, like when we brought him in, we weren't saying, hey, Kalulu's the next coming of Christ. But I'm going to go with a slightly higher than 6. But we're all about on the same numbers here. But hopefully he gets to play a bit more next year, right? Because we saw good stuff from Kalulu. Number 19, Stevie P. Maldini's findings, Theo, almost 4,000 minutes played, 8 goals, 8 assists. Yes, a lot of yellow cards, a lot of diving, unfortunately. Supposedly, PSG want to give us 40 million for the guy, but Mercato madness at its best. Steve, where do you put him on a scale of 1 to 10?
He struggled a lot. He struggled more this year than he did last year. And that's Serie A for everybody. Serie A, you're new, you can jump on the scene, you're doing things that you're not going to be able to do a week in and week out year number 2. Let's face it. The goals are nice, the assists are nice. I expected more from him this season, more of a leadership role. I think there was a little bit too much theatrics. He did go a period in time, guys, where he was not very good. So if I say, meets expectations for him, for my expectations of Theo Hernandez, he meets those expectations, but I really, really wanted more. So I can't give him 6 because he does have 8 goals. He does have the goals, he does have the assists, but we need something more from him. If he wants to take that next level, if we want to say Theo Hernandez is the best left back in Serie A, he needs to take up his game to another level. And now with Champions League, it's going to be even harder. So Theo Hernandez for me gets a 7.
Okay, I find that his bad play and when he went through that rut, I believe the fact that the team was going the same way, it was very emphasized, because I believe that if Hernandez would have been playing the way he played in the second half, the way he played in the first half, people would have been talking about him that much, right? So 8 goals, 8 assists. You got to think about that game against Lazio, Steve. We talk about the game against Sampdoria.
It's a yearly review, not a one-game review.
Okay, yearly review. I have to go, for me, did he exceed my expectations from when I saw last year? I'm going to go with 7.5. So I'm not going to give him the 8, but 7.5 for Theo. But if PSG comes a knocking, I'm not sure if those rumors are true. But Steve, would you sign him for 40?
What did you give Dalot?
Dalot, I gave him 5.5.
You gave Dalot 5.5.
I believe, yeah. We should have been writing this stuff down.
Yes.
Guys, intern, write this stuff down. would you sell him for 40, Steve? I wouldn't. Not for 40.
No.
What's your number for Hernandez?
The same that they want to offer for Hakimi.
80 million.
Yep.
To Gio, fellow Patreon Gio, Captain Calabria. Calabria with 3,200 minutes played, 2 goals, 2 assists, 7. No red cards. Pretty impressive. How about you guys? How about you, Steve? Calabria. For me, I think his second half was a lot stronger than his first one. Calabria had a horrible season last year. The way he came out and, replaced Conte that year. And then we were expecting a lot of good things from him. And this year, it just showed so much heart. And for me, Steve, I cannot not give him an 8. For me, he exceeded my expectations because I wasn't expecting that from him this year. I don't know about you.
Look, Calabria had a great year. He was playing the whole second half of the season with an injury. So you got to give him Grinta points. You got to give him, loving the shirt points. I don't know. It's going to be really hard for me to give higher than 8 there. I give him like 7.5.
He did not exceed your expectations, Calabria?
No, I've seen him do it before, so I know he will be able to do it again if he gets his game on right and stays injury-free. So Calabria 7.5 for me. They can do more. They can do more, guys. I'm not happy with this. I told you guys from the beginning. I see people solid 8, solid guys. Come on.
Hey, I gave him an 8. 8 is fine. Everybody's entitled. Entitled.
I get it. But you have to be looking for more. This Milan finishing second, yes, it's a success story. I'm not happy with finishing second.
You're not?
No, I want to win. I want to win Scudettos. I want to win Champions Leagues. I'm not happy with second.
But Steve, this review is your expectations of this year. If you take Calabria's expectation, so you're giving him a 7.5?
7.5. There's only one person who's going to go higher than 8. That's it.
All right. Kjaer, Steve.
He's really good. He's a fantastic buy.
Now, remember, 8 is exceeding expectations, and 10 is greatly exceeding expectations.
Yeah, no one's getting a 10 on this team.
No, but I'm not saying it's a 10 out of 10. If we got to grade it, did Kjaer not greatly exceed your expectations?
No, he did it last year.
So what do you give him this year?
I think Kjaer, just because of his age and the amount of minutes that he played, I think Kjaer gets me close to an 8 there. I would give him an 8.
Yeah, I gotta give Kjaer an 8 as well. Actually, you know what? I will give him that 0.5 more. Kjaer, for me, at his age and everything, and the way he stepped in when we needed him the most, you're saying Grinta points. I'm gonna go with 8.5. And Paul is saying that you're harsher than the judges on X Factor about Dancing with the Stars.
I'm not. You guys,
it's his opinion.
This is fun. I'm not here to give 8.5 when I don't believe they got an 8.5. I'm not going to give someone. I'm not going to give someone a grade. I saw people say trolling. I'm not trolling, guys. I'm not, guys. This team is not good enough for next year's Champions League.
We got to be honest, gentlemen.
Let's be honest with ourselves here. This team is not good enough for next year's Champions League. If we are in pot 4 and we get Bayern, Madrid, Ajax in that group, we are not making it out of the group with this team.
With this team, okay.
With
all
this team,
but again, I wanna get back to Steve. Your expectations. Now, I don't want you to give me a score of what you're expecting to do next year. I want you to give me
a score for this year.
For this year, okay. Romagnoli. Looking at the stats, 2,600 minutes played, 1 goal, 7 yellow cards. He was right. I didn't think he had a red card, but Romagnoli, looking at through the whole year, Steve, he had much better moments than bad ones. For me, I would probably have to give him a 7 out of 10. right? I don't think he exceeded the expectations. To you, what? He met your expectations?
No, he's much, much lower than what I expected. For me, Romagnoli gets 5.5.
Really?
Romagnoli is the captain of this team. Romagnoli lost the starting center back position. Now, through injuries, through problems.
It's 3-0 Canadians against the Toronto Maple Leafs, by the way.
Yeah, no one from Toronto no one's gonna write in this chat.
Timmy's watching, and Liban Youssef. But okay, so Romagnoli for you did not even meet your expectations?
No, he actually was below my expectation. I did not think that Romagnoli would have lost his starting position to someone that we bought at the halfway point from England, an English defender, guys.
He was hurt for a while, Steve.
It's fine, but you lost your starting position. You did not exceed anybody's expectation. You're not starting anymore. You're the captain of the team. Now, was he a gentleman and was he, I don't know what happened behind the scene. I'm saying, he didn't cause any problems. He was very professional about it. But Romagnoli, if you're going to hear it now, if Romagnoli next year is with Milan, I will be very surprised.
Okay, I get what you're saying, but I think that at the beginning of the season, Romagnoli was solid, very solid. That Coppa Italia game against Inter, he showed a lot of emotions, and after that, I don't know what the hell happened, but I understand where you're coming from, 5.5, because when we needed him to stand on his head, he did not. Is that it?
Yeah, he didn't really exceed expectations. He didn't even meet them because he's not in the starting lineup anymore. You have to take the whole year.
Yeah, I think my 7 is way too generous. No, you're right. My 7 is way too generous.
I'm taking the whole year. For me, all these marks are the whole year. Dalot, beginning of the year, terrible. You cannot meet the expectation if for half the year you do not meet the expectations.
Yeah, but what was his expectations when we signed him? We didn't sign him to be a superstar.
No, but my expectation is to be able to replace Theo Hernandez a couple of times. He was not able to replace Theo Hernandez a couple of times.
Taking it over to Tomori.
Tomori gets, again, he gets an 8. He gets an 8 because he came in at the halfway point of the season to a brand new league, not knowing the language, and excelled.
So is that not a 9, Steve?
No.
He exceeded your expectations? He did not greatly exceed?
No, because there was mistakes. It's not perfect. There's still a lot of work to be done with this young guy. And that's year one. Again, guys, year one, no one knows you. No one knows your tendencies. Serie A will study Tomori. Serie A will find deficiencies in his game.
Steve, this year, you just said he came halfway throughout a season.
Halfway.
8. Doesn't know the language.
He will not
adapted himself.
There's only one person who exceeded my expectations. Punto e basta. Okay. You're going to argue, it's not going to change.
I'm not asking you to change your opinion.
No, but
I'm telling you my opinion.
Yeah, you get it, but you're telling me what to say. It's fine. He exceeded your expectations, not mine.
I'm going to have to give him a 9. That's to me because I have no idea how he was able to adapt this way in so little time. The mistakes that he made were made, but did not cost Milan a game. And the way that he was able to connect with Kjaer and have those those saves he made off the goal line, that's my opinion. Because to me, I wasn't expecting much from them. I'm going to pretend that we knew who Tomori was, and he came from Cagliari, Alberta, Canada. No, we didn't know anything. So you're at an 8, I'm at a 9. Gabbia, can we even give him a rating?
Not applicable.
Not applicable. Stevie P, let's go.
The best thing Gabbia could do is be included with the 20 million that's going to Sassuolo for Berardi.
So let's midfield, Stevie P.
4. I'm being honest.
I Yeah, 9 goals, 12 assists, 3,300 minutes played. I believe, Steve, not a single goal scored from a set piece.
No. So with Hakan, I joke with 4 there. He has not for years met my expectations of what I thought we were getting when we got this player. Now, if someone's going to say, yeah, but he has 9 goals, 12 assists. I get it. But there's a lot of garbage goals. And for those, they do count as goals. The assists, great. But it's
he did not meet expectations, Steve.
No.
We're both on the same page.
As a trequartista, I'm sorry, he did not meet expectations for what we were looking at.
You're at 4. I'm probably at 5 there because I'm going to keep him at the 5 because of the goals and assists that he made. But no, definitely did not meet expectations, especially I know he's been with the team for 4 years. And if we have to believe what we read, he's not going to stay. We shall see. Hulk Hauge. What do you see there, Steve? Not many 960 minutes played, 8 goals and 3 assists in all competitions. You were not critical of him. I think you were saying, well, you were trying to give the explanation why we haven't seen him play. But Hauge, if we have to go by what we were reading about him or how we saw him play against us in the Europa League, I would probably give him a. He definitely met more than my expectations for what we signed him for. I think he was going to be a starter. I think about 6.57 for me. How about you?
For me, 6.5. Just too young. Should have went out on loan. Didn't play enough.
No, everybody's kind of agreeing there in the chats. Our favorite sausage maker, and not that he has that fantastic haircut, but sausage maker with about 2,600 minutes played, 3 goals, 7 assists. The yellow cards and red cards in there. How about him, Steve?
He gets 7.
So for you, he went to. We signed him again last year, not expecting much, Came on and seems to be adapting. He's showing a lot of love for Milan. I love that mushroom cut that he holds. He had a couple of words. I know he saw the interview. He was talking about Ibra, about Lukaku, and how he loves Pioli. So you go with 7 on that one?
7. Youssef is on the same page as me. 7. Just hardworking. The right side is a problem. Salchicha Maker next year cannot be our starting right wing. If he is, we're in trouble. No disrespect to him, but he is going to be one of those depth players that we can bring in, close off games, works hard. I saw in the comments, very good comment about him missing too many goals, and that's true.
Yeah.
Not enough cattiveria in the final third. So he gets that 7 just because he works really hard, and that right-hand side really just gets abused. Everybody comes down that right-hand side for us, which is their left-hand side. So,
but he looks like the kind of guy, Steve, that would accept that role. If we have to believe the Berardi kind of rumors, I think he would be willingly I'm still young and I'm still going to take that.
He has to be that type of player, a utility player where he can grow his game, where if we need him at right back, which traditionally we bought him as a right back, can play right back. And if we need him at right wing, he can sub in for right wing. If he becomes that utility player where you can put him in multiple spots, his grade goes up much, much more than what we just gave him.
And the impossible just happened, Steve. The Canadians somehow eliminated Toronto Maple Leafs. Tomorrow,
you got to play the games.
Number 7, Stevie P. Samu Castillejo.
He's gonna get a 4 rating like Hakan. Because again, and he puts in hard work, and Hakan puts in hard work, and just if we're going with this, what have they done for me this year? Castillejo has caused me multiple
ulcers.
Not ulcers, just multiple random things in my house that got thrown. Like a case of those thumbtacks, they flew, a glass, coasters, things have flown. Like if he would have cost me a TV, he would have probably got a 0, but he gets a 4 for me.
Let me ask you, Steve. You mentioned Hakan hard work, Saelemaekers hard work, Castillejo hard work. Why is it that we picture Saelemaekers, we put importance to his hard work, where maybe on Hakan and Castillejo we don't? Is it La Grinta?
Castillejo, there's too much garbage to his game. There's too many lost balls in the final third, not on the same page with his teammates. Surprisingly, for someone who's Spanish, not really good technically. Like, he has a lot of trickery, but the wind can push him over. Salchicha Makers, hard-nosed, goes into tackles. He shows fight. And again, you mentioned Hakan. Hakan, his mark for me is very low, because not only did he have highs and lows, and when he had lows, it looked like he lost his dog. The mental aspect of this mark is very challenging too. Every time there was something going on off the pitch, we saw it on the pitch. Contract negotiations, something in his personal life. As a professional, that can happen. And if it does happen, it reflects on your play. And yes, the stats are padded nicely with 9 goals, 12 assists. There's a lot of people that would love to finish a season with 9 goals, 12 assists. But you're also playing the trequartista position in Milan.
When you had half of the games not having an Ibra there, well, we needed you to come up a bit,
you didn't more. Show.
How about our favorite Algerian, Steve, Bennacer?
Bennacer had a really down season this year.
After his injury, a second injury, he had come back. I think he came back too fast. But what would you grade him?
I think he was he for me, he met the expectations, but he disappointed a bit. So I can't give him the 6. I'll give him 5.5 for just what the work that he does. Right, there's not a lot of garbage to Bennacer's game. He does work hard. He plays in a very, very difficult position, and everybody might think that's 1.5 different from Castillejo and Hakan. Well, they really had a tough time, guys. Against a 5-man midfield, when they're 2 and when we're 2 and the other team is 5. Frank and Bennacer do a lot of kilometers, and especially if he was playing somewhat injured, he creeps up to the 6. I not that I like him. I don't want to play favorites. But I think there's more to his game than that, and I think he took a step back this year.
He did, and I'm going to give him the 6 for myself, because I found that just before his injury, he was really getting into his stride, and he was battling for those balls. He was playing as good as Kessie, and then after that injury, but for me, I'm not worried. Quality player should be able to get back into exceeding expectations this year.
We need him to exceed expectations if we're going into the Champions League and he's starting double pivot.
Tonali, Steve?
Tonali did not meet my expectations at all. Tonali, I said we need to give him time. I also moved on from let's give him time to guys. Maybe this year's a mulligan for Tonali.
Yes, you did.
Where we don't count it as a year. Again, I agree. I agree with Carlo, and I agree with Raul. 5 is something where he did show some moments of brilliance, but
last quarter of the season, I found he was a bit more into his groove. But I think 5 is fair, and hopefully. Like you said, Steve, let's take it as a mulligan year. It looks like we are going to get that option and pay him that 15 million. Frank the Tank, 14 goals, 6
10.
assists.
10, 11. 11. Is there an 11? Can we give
you want
11?
to be at 11? Honestly, 10 has to be the score, because he played well last year. Don't get me wrong, guys, but did he greatly exceed our expectations this year? Absolutely fucking yes. Presidente Frank carried this team for all these games that Ibra was not there, I don't understand how this guy keeps on running every single game that he's there. It's just, I don't think anybody can argue, Steve, with giving him a 10 out of 10.
No, you can't. Look, a lot of, everybody's going to say a lot of his goals come on penalties. You still have to get those. You still have to put them in the back of the net.
But it's cool not as a even cucumber.
Even if you would have finished with 9 goals, and like, let's say the same score line like Hakan, 9 goals, 6 assists. For me, he still would have got 10 because, this is the best comment. Kessie is our Kante.
Yeah. And Barella got, I don't know how Barella won. Not that Barella's fantastic, don't get me wrong, but how can you compare Kessie's, I think a lot of people, everybody's kind of like,
Barella's the best midfielder in Serie A.
He didn't play for how many months?
Barella is the best midfielder in Serie A. Hard stop. Don't make an argument. We're gonna embarrass ourselves. Please.
It's a whole year. That's the only thing I'm saying.
It is a whole year. But
was Kessie more of a factor to Milan than Barella was a factor to Inter winning their Scudetto? Take out Barella out of that equation. Does Inter still win the Scudetto? Yes, they do.
I don't think so.
Steve, look at that team.
You gotta watch without your Milan glasses on. You fall into that same thing there where sometimes you have the glasses on and you don't want to see. Guys, all right. Barella has
fantastic. Barella's
more
fantastic.
Range. Yes, the formation does help Barella a lot, but Barella this year was the best midfielder in Serie A.
About Krunic, Steve? Going from grading, I know he didn't have that many minutes, as you can see. Still had 2 goals, 3 assists, but
for someone who gets subbed on in very strange situations, because let's face it, some of the substitutions where we're bringing on Krunic, everybody scratches their head. For me, he met my expectations.
Yeah, I gotta agree with that one. Krunic was, a jack of all trades, a better version of Fabio Borini, our Lord and Savior Fabio Borini. I think Krunic, whenever, like I said, he got subbed on. When we needed him to show up, he showed up in that game where he scored. And for me, it's got to be a 6 for Krunic. I think we both agree on that, right?
Yeah, he met my expectations for what I thought he could bring. Again, he's someone like Salchicha Maker, where if he molds himself into one of those players that could play multiple roles, he will be very sought after in terms of like what he can show in Champions League. We're going to be playing a lot of soccer next year, so if he's willing to accept that role and do his work, which he seems like someone who doesn't get out of position a lot of times, but does become sloppy sometimes with simple passes and simple things. If he can fix that garbage, him and Salchicha Maker will be very, very key going forward.
And ending our midfielders, Steve, with Mete. I think for me, it's, I knew of the name. It's not like I follow Torino every single week. And if I got to take a look at, forget maybe the first 1 or 2 games because he was absolutely, very horrible. But I gotta have to give Mete, Steve, a 6.57 because I think he kind of exceeded my expectations. Because to me, it was just like, you got to go in and do your job, right? But the way once he settled in, for me, I have nothing bad to say about Mete. I don't know if you agree with that, especially the last 10 games that he played.
Yeah, I expected a bit more, though. I expected him to be able to take some minutes away from Kessie. And we need that. And he was not able to do that. Instead of taking away, he was played with Kessie. So he didn't meet my expectations with regards to that. So I can't give him a 6. I think, like you said, as the season got on, I think he got more comfortable. The only strange part was the game that we tried to play him behind the 2 strikers. I think that was just not something that he's used to. But then we saw some of the ranges, Torino, nice ball with the exterior of his foot against Atalanta too, putting in some nice balls. I have nothing to say negative about Mete, where we bought him to try to take away minutes from Kessie, and that just didn't happen. That's why I can't give him a 6. I would give him like a 5.5.
Steve, let me ask you, out of these fine midfielders, who would you guess does not manscape? Hulk Hogan for sure manscapes, right? Tonali for sure. He's got the young kind of thing. Who would you think would need a MWP promo code out of these fine midfielders? Who would you say?
I would think Hakan Chanobulu.
Hakan doesn't look like he manscapes. Yeah,
No.
yeah. Everybody, even Mukhtar, saying Hakan. I would say Hakan doesn't manscape. And you know what? Castillejo for sure manscapes. For sure. Yeah. Çalhanoğlu and Krunic, I'm going to go. But Steve, what did you get today? The 4.0 lawnmower? Is that it?
The 4.0 lawnmower, guys. Look, beautiful packaging.
Look at that, guys. Hold on. Let me put you in big here, Steve. Show us what you got there. Show us what you got. It's the lawnmower 4.0, gentlemen. Wireless charging, different types of levels. It's a whole new balls game. Look at that. Look how beautiful that is, right? And guys, MWP, manscaped.com. No, Steve, that's for that's for the balls.
No, I know.
And what else did you get, Steve? Another fine product that they sent you. You got the refined cologne. Very nice.
Smells very good.
Guys, beautiful. 20% off, free shipping, and you also got another weed whacker, just in case. Look at that, So the hairs. It's summertime. You want to make sure you're taking in all the beautiful oxygen. But Stevie P, we got to thank Manscaped for their sponsorship. Thank you for sending these great products, and we will let you know because I'm getting mine tomorrow. It says we will let you know about some stories because. I've been letting it grow. I got to make sure to see how it works. Do I want to do number 1, number 2, number 3? So we shall see after that. And Stevie P, before we get to the strikers, now, Steve, this was important for us to do. And, since we're already like 45 minutes in, Stevie P, let's take a little break.
No. Go do the strikers.
To the strikers?
Yes.
Okay. Hold on a second.
Break? No breaks.
Okay. Sorry. Let me. I'm not professional here. Let me do this. So let's do. Oh no, I gotta do full screen before present the screen with me. And he says, "Why did you put that up?" Okay. So Stevie P, we got strikers. We're starting off with Mandzukic. I know he gave away all his salary and a great move, but Steve, if 6 is meeting expectations, it's got to be a 3.
Yeah, he's at. I won't go to 3. I'll keep it to 4 just because give him some bonus points to that. But
there's nothing much to talk about.
There's nothing much to talk about. Mandzukic, it was again low risk, high reward, and it ended up failing. This was a failed purchase. Maldini, Masara has done some great things, but this was not. This could have cost us a Champions League spot, guys. Let's say it the way it is.
Yeah.
We needed someone to be a backup for Ibra, or either take away minutes from Ibra and be a true number 9, or take over for Ibra if he would have gotten injured. He was not able to take over as a true number 9, and he was not able to take over when he was injured, when Ibra was injured, because he was injured. So,
yeah,
not enough.
Zlatan, 17 goals, close to 2,000 minutes played. Sorry, Steve, I'm going to have to go with 6.5 because to me, that's my expectations of him, right? 6.5 because of the leadership that he gives, but I don't see giving. He did not greatly exceed my expectations. So for me, honestly, for what he's done, for the games that he's won us, and for what he was able to do with the guys and the mentality, I'll give him a 7. But I can't because those are my expectations of Ibra. So yeah, 7. I'm there with a solid 7, like Carlos was saying. 7 for me. How about you, Steve?
For me, I give him an 8. I give him an 8 not because of the goals, a lot of the stuff that you hear in the locker room after, just being a leader, trying to be someone who shows an example of what Milan really is all about, is enough to give me that 8 there, because he is 39 years old, guys.
Yeah.
It's not the Ibra from 2011. 17 goals, 3 assists. Yes, he was injured a lot of the time. Maybe if we would have played all those games and still would have showed up with that scoreline, we might be a little bit more harsh on the grading. But from a 39-year-old who, he's a wonder. He's a wonder to watch. He's a wonder for the youngsters to emulate. And let's hope he rubs off on the guy next to him.
On that note, Steve, I'm going to go take a little trip. Rafael Leao.
Guys, Leao, my grade for Leao is, I'm giving him a 5. I'm giving him a 5 because he did not meet my expectations.
I think that's
I'm giving him a 5, which is 1.5 or 1 more than Hakan, just because he played multiple positions.
And he scored those some goals, Steve, when Ibra was not available. Yes. And that did win us some games. So 5, I think I agree with you with 5.
Some points for that. I just don't like Leao's body language. I argued the whole entire year, the whole season, 38 games, that Leao is not a true number 9. Leao does need to do some work on the IQ of the game. He's terrible in the final third. He makes simple things look very, very difficult. There's a lot of trickery to his game. There's the fancy YouTube stuff that'll ooh and ah everybody. But Leao has a lot of work to do. Guys, today, Diaz-Zurini...
He didn't even make it on the pitch. Did he make it on the pitch today?
He was subbed in. In. But today, Leao doesn't start for the U21 of Portugal. So the phenomenon that we bought doesn't crack the lineup of the U21. Now, at Zurini, they lost 5-3. It was probably one of the worst U21 Italy teams that I've seen in a long time. But man, did they fight.
Losing 3-1, they came back 3-3.
They came back. And, then they got a red card. And they ended up losing the game 5-3. A lot of quality on that U21 Portugal team. But he doesn't crack that, right? And imagine another superstar. Exactly. Cutrone doesn't crack the Italy U21, which again, guys, if you look at that team, and no disrespect, Podbeg is on that team. Podbeg, not because he's a Milan player. Podbeg, for the minutes that he played, was really the best player on the pitch. He was very dynamic, and he showed a lot, but did pick up a stupid card that got him subbed off, and I think the Italy midfield did suffer after that. Everybody, Scaramaccia there was up there as well. Not a lot of service. It was tough. It was tough to watch.
We'll see what the future holds. So moving on to Rebic, Steve. How about Rebic?
Rebic again exceeded my expectations. Yes.
How did he exceed your expectations? Because for me, every time we tried to put him up as a striker, it completely failed.
But that's not his position. If I'm going to protect Leao for not playing his position, you damn well know that I'm going to protect Rebic for not being able to play his position.
But Rebic, aren't our expectations of Rebic a bit higher than Leao's, because we kind of bought him? So you will give him a 7.
No, he gets an 8 from me.
He gets an 8 from you.
Yeah.
Okay, so he exceeded your expectations, Rebic.
He exceeded my
11
expectations.
goals, 9...
I thought that he was not going to be able to reproduce what he did last year. And he scored, like...
That makes sense, yeah.
This is a great comment for my 8. he scored many important goals.
That's true. I'm gonna go with a 7 because to me, I just looked at him as he went over my expectations, but to me, did not exceed them because I was expecting him to do that. And those games that, yes, he didn't play in that position, but we're very close. We're very close on these ones. He did outperform, that's for sure. Diaz, Steve, for a whole year, Diaz, I'm gonna have to go with 6.5. I'm sorry, guys, I cannot take the last 3 to 4 games that he played and consider him like exceeding my expectations. I don't know about you, Steve.
No, he did not exceed my expectations. And again, we're not going to get hypnotized by the last couple of games. I agree. 6.5, 6 is the lowest I'd go. I expect more, right? Especially when Hakan wasn't playing well. Okay, Pioli never really gave him that chance.
True.
But he had to have shown more maybe in training. I don't know what he had to have given more and shown more to be able to say, you know what, if Hakan's not playing that well, Pioli has enough guts to make that change and bring Diaz in, and he wasn't able to do that, so he gets a 6.5 for me.
Do we even give a score to Maldini? This is not applicable.
This is terrible. This is terrible on Milan management. This is another, I'm going to say another failure from Maldini and Masada. Daniele Maldini had to go out on loan this year.
Yeah. I think, but not applicable on that one, not even 200 minutes played. Steve, Sonny didn't want to put our next featured player, and because he had no stats. So we decided to give him... this would be water bottles served to his teammates, Steve?
Yeah, water bottles filled and served, 76. Minutes played, 0, and 1 save. Because apparently he saved Ibra's phone from falling once. So we're giving him a save for that one. Antonio Donnarumma, guys, was caught up and has the extreme luck of being Gigio Donnarumma's brother.
Yeah,
and got this position as third keeper. You know, I get the third keeper role. You know, Juve has a third keeper, and again, his name escapes me now. And he knows he's the third keeper. He knows he's not going to play unless something drastic happens.
Yeah.
But not only is he the third keeper, he's like the first person that you see when they score a goal. And if I'm looking at Antonio Donnarumma, he doesn't even do that well. No, but it's true.
No, so I know.
We're wasting
those 2 years ago. What was it in the Coppa Italia that he came in for those couple of games?
Yeah,
and he did pretty good.
And he never let in a goal. But the thing is, we're wasting a spot, right? Like, I get it that it's Donnarumma's brother, but what did it get us in the end? It got us
$1 million less than money.
Yeah, $1 million less. And added to that, we could have kept a young goaler like Plizzari on the team to experience this season. You know?
Yeah.
Maybe not play, but experience the season. And see what it feels like to make the Champions League. No, we left Plizzari out on loan, and we had this guy, this stool.
That's money. Steve, you said it. Raiola, what's his job? To make sure he takes care of his clients. And this was a Raiola doing 3 years ago, correct?
I get it, but
so this on Mirabelli and Fasone.
Oh yeah, it is the money thing, but I'm just saying, as like now, Gigio Donnarumma is gonna leave. Antonio Donnarumma is following him straight out the door.
Yeah, obviously.
So you're looking for now who's our third keeper. So
Plizzari, I believe, is still at Regina. I'm not sure. But we'll see.
But
everybody calling him a parasite. Tatarusanu, tiramisu, Steve. I'm sorry, Steve. I got to give him an 8. He exceeded my expectations.
He's a goaler that played in Italy already. Look at the amount of minutes that Donnarumma played.
Yeah.
Meets the expectations. He did what a second goaler had to do.
The way he stood on his head against in the Europa League when Donnarumma was hurt, He did a couple. For me, he exceeded my expectations because I wasn't expecting that from a from a guy that who knew Tatarusanu before, right? So I'm gonna have to stick with that for me because to me, he exceeded my expectations. Last but not least,
10, 11.
So he greatly exceeded your expectations.
Oh.
He hasn't set you up to this expectation for the last couple of years, Gijo?
No. This guy just continuously exceeds my expectations.
How about his couple of papres that from the year? So, sorry.
Every goaler has papres.
Let me get this straight. Let me get this straight. From what you've seen from Gijo from the last couple of years, this year, he greatly exceeded your expectations.
Yeah. First of all, I'd like to say just in public, this greatly meets and grid that you did is totally off. It's the player and what he did for the year. From 1 to 10. 10 being the best, 1 being poor.
All right.
For me, Gigio Donnarumma represents 10 to 12 points this year.
If you're putting it that way, yeah, I'm gonna have to go with a 8.5 to 9 for Gigio because he did save us a lot of games. A keeper of this level will always gonna keep on remembering those few bad times, but we keep on forgetting the times that he did stood on his head. So we're in that upper echelon, and everybody's kind of agreeing.
He is the best goaler in Serie A.
Stevie P, how about we forgot Pioli? What would you give Pioli?
Pioli exceeded my expectations this year.
Mm-hmm.
Scared me for a bit, but he has to get a solid. I'm going to give him an 8.
Okay. I totally agree with that one. How about Massara and Maldini?
Look.
It's a hard one, this one.
I like the Tomori signing. I like the... I'm not going to say it. Besides that, the Tomori is the special. I'm angry at Maldini and Massara for not sending Hogue. Well, not Hogue. Hogue was, I think, was a good signing and a good future move. I'm mad they did not send Daniele Maldini out on loan. I know we had to keep some players. We needed players. And I think the gamble, because it failed, not getting someone to be able to replace Ibrahimovic, they give me, I would put them at...
Would you go with a 7.5? 8?
7. I wouldn't go. Yeah. Because we finished second. But I think if Maldini and Massara were confident that we would have been able to win the Scudetto, as much as some of us were, and hoped, we needed something more in a very difficult winter mercato, which I don't know if they were going to even be able to do. But the gamble, for me, it's hard because the Tomori was something that I'm pretty sure they had to research and they were thinking about and pulled the trigger on that. And who knew we would have needed a center back?
And supposedly it's a done deal, 28 million. It just, you know what it is? I think, Steve, is that the positives are as important as the negatives. It's not like the negatives are they're, you could have done this, and the whole Gigio situation. I know a lot of us have different opinions on this, but letting it get to this, unfortunately, right? Yeah. That's got to be a negative. The Maldinis, going out on loan, gambling on, let's keep it to Ibrahimovic and let's see where we go from over there. But then you got those other kind of signings and standing for the team. And the unsung hero, Steve, for me, as much as we like to, trash on him friendly wise, would have to be Massara. The guy that we always say, doesn't talk anything like that. He's just like a
silent for me, and gets the job done.
And gets the job done, right? But there is one more player, Steve.
No, there's two more. There's two more.
Who?
Everybody that shot on Gazidis needs to give him an apology.
Yes. Yeah.
Because was he perfect? No. Did he make mistakes? Yes. Did he fix those mistakes? I think he did.
Did he erase the fact of Boban, Steve? Did he erase that?
I think we need to give Boban some credit too, because that whole fiasco with Boban forced Gazidis to let Maldini do the work when it becomes to soccer, and Gazidis to do the work when it becomes to balancing the books and the finances. And I don't think if we don't have that fiasco, I don't think he learns that lesson.
No, I totally agree with you, and I know there's been a lot of hate on Gazidis, especially at the beginning, and we kept on saying, guys, he's doing his job. It's not his money. He's been told to do a job, and let's be honest, Steve, if it was up to Gazidis, would he have signed Ibra at $7 million a year? Absolutely not. You know, I think he was the first guy that
there are a lot of convincing to get that signature. I think there was a lot of hard work by Maldini, Boban, Masara to get that signature for the first time. It didn't fit in their plan. They said it. They wanted to buy young, develop, and try to sell.
Yeah.
But that's the Arsenal model. Maldini put in, well, I believe in your Arsenal model, but this is Milan. We're not Arsenal. God help us if we ever become Arsenal.
And who's your other one? You said there was two players, Gazidis and Elliott.
No, the Presidente.
Gentlemen, right now we would like to make you a special presentation to the most important player. Thank you, Sonny. Thank you, Steve, for thinking about this. Guys, number 3 in the position of Presidente. Stevie P, can you talk to us about his accolades for his? Actually, you know what? Let me bring it back. Can you please bring out your inner Bob Ross and paint us a picture on how these beautiful stats came to be?
Guys, this guy brought out the number 3 from retirement. Maldini said, Presidente, you could wear it. And he wears it proudly. He has PR there. Presidente does everything in the back room, guys. Me and Vinny, we just show up on Monday and we talk and we answer your questions and we try to entertain as much as possible and try to be as honest as possible. But look at these stats, guys. Calculations done, 4.3 million. Phone calls made, 100K plus. Sonny forgot the plus.
Yeah, the plus.
Discounts received. $432,000 of discounts received, guys. We save from everything. We save from air. The air we breathe is on discount thanks to this guy. All jokes aside, we wanted to make the card for him to say thank you. Maybe his kids will see it and they will laugh. And maybe we can print it out and present it to him one day because he is the Presidente.
Let's just put it this way. Presidente got pissed off that we don't have official jerseys from Puma in Canada. What did he do, Steve? He called Puma. Hey, I don't understand. Guys, he got official jerseys directly from Puma to be able to sell to our members. This is the kind of guy that he is. Presidente, we love to make fun of you. We just appreciate everything that you Patreon numbers are record high. Paul is another fellow Patreon members, but Presidente, honestly, thank you very much for all the work that you do. He's not on, is he? He's probably drinking. What is he drinking for the Montreal Habs winning, Steve? Aperol Spritz.
We don't know what he's with. You know, he's one of those wine coolers. He's gonna break out vintage wine coolers.
Steve, a suggestion to you. It is we're an hour in. Would you like to go through? Because we have quite a bit of questions, or you want to do a special maybe this week just to answer the question, maybe a 10-15 minutes, and then we'll just do our indigestions. And what would you like to do?
Skip the indigestions, answer the people's questions.
All right. So, podcast questions on Patreon. Fabio, hey, fellas, the Paul is heavily...
Put back all the fancy stuff around the screen.
I got to put the fancy stuff. Sorry, guys. I got to put the... Can you put the fancy stuff from your end? No. Okay, we got the fancy stuff. So, Fabio saying... The Paul is heavily rumored for 40 million. Do we see him as a natural Hakan replacement, as they keep saying, or is he number 10? Also, Giroud is a backup for Ibra. How do we feel about this? He's never played in Italy, and I feel like we need to keep looking for good Serie A players to boost our squad. one Italian striker who plays in Serie A would be ideal. I just have faith in what Milan finds from the French league, and I don't have faith in what Milan finds in the French league, and I don't want to watch the French league at all, but I hope Magic Mike has what it takes to make us forget Donnarumma, as he says it. But the rumors of DePaul, Steve, and Giroud seems to be kind of a done deal. What are your thoughts on that?
Giroud is a replacement for Mandzukic. And Olivier Giroud, I've doubted him multiple times, and every single time I've doubted him, he's come up and he's scored goals. The guy knows how to score.
He's a world champion, Steve.
He's Manscaped to
the
team.
That's for sure. That's for sure. Giroud is I think he's a much higher upgrade from Mandzukic, and he's a kind of player that if Ibra's out, he can be that guy. He's not a bench player, Giroud.
Yeah, he's that guy again that he's gonna be able to take away some minutes or come in and help, and he's that guy who can hold up the play. We've seen it in his multiple stints, Chelsea, Arsenal, and so on and so forth. He makes the national team, right? You have to think the French national team will have a tridente of Mbappé, Griezmann, and Benzema. And he still makes the team as a sub, as someone who comes in. When Benzema wasn't making the national team, he was still making the national team. So I think it's a smart move. It is still a gamble because we are getting someone who's coming from England, and you know what I think about England, but great backup. I think it's going to be really good.
How about DePaul, Steve? Would you do the 40 million out straight? I think that's what I read today.
There's options. There's options.
Would you do 25 and Hulk Hogan?
I don't think Udinese wants Hoj. I think they
just want straight cash, huh?
Yeah. So the on Twitter, what I've been seeing from the guys, and I have multiple people tweeting this out, so I'm not going to give credit to one person, but the list is Ilicic, DePaul, Pessina, or Papu Gomez to replace Hakan Çalhanoğlu.
We shall see from there.
I personally think they need 2 of those 4 players.
I like that. Gio, keep up the good work, guys. Calabria for Capitano. Let Mercato madness begin. Gio never asks questions. He just likes to, give us the props. And Gio, just a little thing. Please, when Tommy's on one of his rants in the chat, can you stop putting fuel on there? Yes, Tommy, we need to hear. Just he gets all excited from over there, Gio. So no, but thank you for always the comments, and even Gio, one of the original Patreon members. David Guarasho, and David, congratulations, Steve. He's getting hitched, getting married.
Congratulations. That should be our feel-good moment of the week.
Feel-good moment of the week, David. And what does he got for us? Good evening, guys. With the rumors saying that Donnarumma will sign for Juve for the same salary that he was making at Milan, what is your take on this? Did he really just not want to sign with Milan? And also all these transfer rumors, which one would be your guy's dream? Put aside financial fair play or that they're in debt. What would be your dream signing for next year Milan, and why that player? Steve, we spoke about this afternoon when we spoke about the Soul if he does go to Juve for $6 million. I think it's gambling. I don't think there's anything else to come up to this than gambling. They gambled and
they gambled and they failed.
He's going to be hated. He's going to be hated. Oh, he's going to be no traditore.
I'm surprised. I think Raiola thought that he was going to get more play from Milan, more back and forth to drive up his price and maybe get him signed somewhere else outside of Italy. I don't think Donnarumma wants to stay in Italy. If he goes to Juve, I'm curious how Juve is going to magically afford Szczesny and Donnarumma.
Yeah, exactly.
It just doesn't work out.
But even at Barcelona, Steve, that Ter Stegen.
Yeah, but Barcelona, they don't count, right? Because FIFA, the financial fair play doesn't apply to them. They just get loans on top of loans, and they never go to the toss. They never have any problems with being kicked out. It's only Italian teams.
le tribunal arbitral financier. Okay.
Exactly. So look, wherever he ends up, I'm curious to see. I'm interested to see, and if it's Juve, it's gonna be fun. And he better have his big boy pants, because the San Siro will be very nasty to him.
In the end, gentlemen, I think if he does go to Juve, a lot of us are speaking out of our hearts, because we thought it was Roba da Milan. We've said for years, Stevie and I, that, guys, l'era delle bandiere is over. It's a business now. And I've realized that a lot of times that me and Steve have argued, I'm talking with my heart. And I was expecting Donnarumma to be in a bandiera. It is business. And if he goes to sign for another team for the exact same salary, you fucked up. That's the only thing I'm going to say on the matter there. And kudos to Maldini and Massara for getting a top tier goaltender, but shame on the organization to letting it get to this situation. That's the only thing I got to say. You want to give him his bonus? Give him his $20 million bonus. Sign him the next day. What will happen, Steve, when the Ultimate Warrior, he held up Vince McMahon before going out on a pay-per-view? He goes, I want $500,000 and I'm going out. Okay. You gave him $500,000. As soon as he came back, you're fired. And that's what I had to go from. What else we got? Our dream signing, Steve.
Guys, you know me. I love Mercato madness. I love this whole soap opera that it's become. And this year, look, with the changing of the changes of coaches right after the Scudetto, like Inter didn't even have a chance to celebrate. Conte out, Inzaghi in, Sarri maybe to Lazio. Dream, of course. I agree with Jamie. My dream, and the player that I think will be the next big thing, is Mbappe. But Mbappe is not something that's realistic to Milan. I like to be realistic. I need Milan to sign a striker that will be able to either partner up well with Ibra and take away minutes from him. And that guy, I think it's going to have to be, everybody was saying, Steve, what do you like Belotti? I do like Belotti. I want to see Belotti with another team. I want to see Belotti away from Torino, with the negativity that is Torino. And you know what? I might be 100% wrong, but that's what it is when you're in Mercato Madness. You got to do your homework. And, people say, but there's Vlahovic, who, he won Serie A's under 23 player of the year. I don't want to take chances anymore. It's not time for us to gamble anymore, because if Vlasic becomes Kalinic 2.0 or Piatek 2.0, we're in trouble.
Kalinic. Dream signing. My dream signing would be, Steve? Jorginho. That's my dream signing. Put Jorginho on this Milan team. In that midfield. Yeah.
Where are you going to play him? We play a double pivot.
Just put him in there. That's my dream.
All the players in the world, Jorginho.
But dream like there's no money involved. Yeah, Mbappe is like, what else do you have there? You're not going to say Messi. You're not going to say.
People are saying Haaland, guys.
Yeah, Haaland. That's gonna.
Mbappe is at another level. He's at the vacation league now. I don't disagree with anybody. He's at the vacation league. But look, the vacation league, he's not going to be there for much more.
No.
Okay? Because I saw something tweeted and I had to write it down because I needed to remember it. How dysfunctional of a franchise can you be? And you know what? We're part. Milan it's getting better, but was very dysfunctional. But when you're dysfunctional with the money that PSG has, they fired Emery, he wins the Europa League. They fired Tuchel, he wins the Champions League.
I know, I saw that.
So there's a problem here, right? They went all in. They said Neymar, people know I am not a Neymar fan. There's a lot of garbage to Neymar's game. fantastic talent, great for YouTube. It helps when you play with Messi and Suarez. It helps a lot. So,
makes sense.
You see Mbappe, he looks like a Real Madrid player. I see him in a Real Madrid shirt. Right?
It's quality. Not that Neymar's no good. Don't get me wrong, but
I see Claudio with a K. For me, Neymar is not good.
Steve, you can't say he's not good.
I don't find he's a good player. He's won nothing unless he played with Messi and Suarez.
Next question, because we're already an hour and 20 minutes in. Gil is saying, hey guys, still buzzing about the finish to the season with a year now that the Milan have signed Don as a replacement, secured Tomori. Giroud is heavily linked, and assuming Tonali is just a formality. Seems right wing and attacking midfielder on the next priority. Is DePaul the best option at attacking midfielder, or go for the cheaper option, Papu, and maybe get Diaz to learn under him? Small playmakers learning how to stay durable in Serie A. I keep coming back to Diaz because he played pretty well considering he's still young, fit, and project better. You know what, Steve? I like that idea. Getting a guy like Papu Gomez and teaching him, like, small stature guy, how to survive in Serie A. What do you say about that?
We are in the Champions League. I repeat, we are in the Champions League. There's no time for tutoring. There's no time for mentorships. There's times to get better, stay consistent, and win. I don't want these fairy tale, he's going to teach him. He's going to teach him.
We are in the Champions League. Presidente is right here. We are in the Champions League. No, but Papu Gomez, would you get him at a cheap, Steve? On a cheap yearly? I would.
I told you, of the list, Ilicic, DePaul, Pessina, and Gomez, we need two of those four players. Possibly, whichever combination you choose can fix the right-hand side. I am and I will be always a Domenico Berardi fan.
Yes.
I think he's another one that needs to get out of Sassuolo. Everybody said, but he never left. He didn't want to leave to not play at Juve. He didn't give him some credit, guys. He didn't want to do the Bernardeschi mistake. Leave his team, go to a bigger team, and not play. Bernardeschi is the best bass player in the world because of that transfer.
And he's Calabrese, Berardi. Da Reggio Calabria. So we got to... what's the price, Steve? 25, I think I read.
20 million.
20 million plus somebody, no?
20 million plus Gabbia. That gets Gabbia 7 on his rating next year.
Paulie H. Good evening, guys. What do you think we should do with Romagnoli? He has 1 year remaining. We so should he stay or go? If he stays, he will have to sign a new contract, but he's looking for salary increase from 3 to 4.5 million. Should we sell him and get 20 million and reinvest? If he stays, do we keep him as Capitano if he can make the starting 11? We need a vice captain too, with number 99 leaving. What do you guys think? Forza Milan. If this whole idea that we don't want any more Raiola, whatever Raiola does, whatever.
That's
but
not
if
true.
we don't want
that's not true.
That we don't want Raiola clients.
That's not true.
I'm saying if the rumor is true,
but I'm telling you it's not true. That's bad for business.
How's that bad for business?
Because let's say Raiola becomes even stronger than he is now. You're telling me you will not be able to
Steve,
sign the
I'm
best
talking
players?
about right now.
Yeah,
right
but
now.
I'm telling you, right now, that's not true.
Okay, so forget Raiola. What do you do with Romagnoli?
If he doesn't resign, you have to sell him, or else you're walking into the same Donnarumma drama.
And what if he plays the same game again? We're going to lose him for nothing?
You have to sell him. You have to find someone who's willing to buy him. This is their job. It's not only purchasing and using other people's money. It's also being able to sell. And we are not good at selling players.
Unfortunately. What would you think? Somebody who would pay money for Romagnoli? Nobody's paying 20 million, Steve.
Barcelona seems like they're interested. Atletico Madrid seems like they're interested. Again, they're rumors, but it seems like they're interested. So it's either you pony up and you sign, because this is what the precedent that Milan has now set for everybody. You did this to your best or second best player. your most valued asset. You said, we will not be handcuffed by your agent anymore. You resign at our terms, or you go. He did not want to resign. We took action, rightfully so, signed a new keeper who better live up to big gloves that he's filling there.
Yeah.
So same thing with Romagnoli. Romagnoli, I told you, I gave him his rating because he lost his starting position. We hold the cards now. Raiola doesn't have the same cards.
That's true.
With Gigio, he was our starting keeper. He was the future of Milan, the most prized asset. Right now, Romagnoli is not that. We hold the cards. Renew at what we want to give you. Or us, there is the door.
It was a very big price to pay for us to hold the cards. That I will agree. But yeah, now we're holding the cards and go, yeah, we are ready to go all the way down. And if this is what you want to do, you're going to get shit. Youssef, I don't want the energy for a saga this summer. I'm afraid of DePaul is shaping up to be one. Thanks for a great work, guys. Spoke about DePaul. I don't think it will be a saga, Steve, but obviously it is Serie A, so probably going to have Mercato madness.
It's going to be long. There's Euros, there's Copa America. It's a really screwed up year. Like, get some balls, and it's going to be long. It's going to be a long thing to
and you love it, don't you, Asti?
The longer it is, the better it is. I like what Milan did. Right now, we took care of it. If Giroud is also confirmed, we took care of the Mandzukic problem and the Gigio problem right away.
And if Berardi signs,
which I don't think is going to happen before the Euros because we are exactly 12 days away, he will not sign. But after that, a little bit of vacation, it's going to drag. It's going to drag.
Anwar saying, good evening, guys. Great work for the season. Keep it up as always. I have 4 questions. Who was the most improved player for last season? He goes Calabria and Diaz. Who was the most improved player, Steve?
From last year, the season that he had was terrible, so it has to be Calabria.
Calabria, definitely Calabria. Who should be captain for next year? He goes, for me, it's Ibra, Calabria, and Kessie. You know, Steve, we've mentioned it in the past. I'm going to have to go with Kjaer. I'm good with Kjaer being captain. How about you? I don't see Kessie captain. Do you see Ibra? Ibra, yeah, probably Ibra is the easiest choice there, but
Ibra is the easiest choice. Kjaer is okay, but these are just short-term solutions. Then you're going to be having to pick again. So we've been used to a captain being a long-time staple of the team. I don't think we're going to see that. The only reason why it would be Calabria. Yeah, it would be Calabria because I think it's natural for him. He speaks the language. He's good with in front of the camera. I think Kessie, that just would be an added weight, and he doesn't need another weight on top of him. He does 9 million.
Kessie's a soldier. Kjær's a soldier. What is the target for next season, especially with Inter selling some of their key players and Juve starting from scratch for another year? And we spoke about these target for the target for top 4, right, Steve? Or do you want to win the Scudetto?
Now we're in Champions League. We need to be realistic. Top 4. It's going to be first year of Champions League, Coppa Italia, Serie A. I think Milan need to improve, but I also need to manage our expectations. There's going to be a lot of soccer.
Mm-hmm.
I think getting past the group stage of Champions League is key, and top 4 is key. If we can do both, if we're out of the we're out at the group stage of Champions League, again, solid goal is top 4. Depending where we are at halfway, I would say go for the Scudetto. And let's get that number 19.
Who should be taking Hakan's spot on a team realistically? I think Aouar from Lyon is available for sale for 25 million. It could be a great addition to the squad. Young and seriously talented. Take good care. And thanks for the great content for the season. In Maldini, we trust Forza Milan. Is the Hakan replacement realistically? I got to go with DePaul, right, Steve? Realistically?
I don't know. I'm a bit on the fence with DePaul. I think 40 million is a lot.
A
lot of people rate him very, very highly. You know, he's had 2 good seasons in Serie A. He's been average the rest of them. Again, it's a gamble, but from what I've seen the past 2 seasons, maybe it's a gamble worth taking because of the Serie A experience, right? He did play at Udine, and he did. It's tough, right? Udine is a factory of talent. So is he ready to make that next step? I don't know.
40 is still a lot of money.
Isco, Ricardo. Isco is a dream. Isco is a dream.
Raul saying, hi, Vinny and Steve. Kind of still in awe of being in Champions League after 70 years. Feel good, boys. They still may be rumors, but we are closing to signing Giroud, which I think is a great impact substitute with quality of making a difference. But having only Ibra and Giroud as our main strikers is not enough, depending on how much we spend on right-wing players and potentially a substitution for Hakan. I'm not sure if we are going to get quality players. What are your thoughts on if we sign Giroud and if we need a target man who can guarantee to start at least 25 games a season? If we have Giroud and Ibra, do we still need a striker? Do we just go with Leao, Rebic?
No.
And possibly Colombo and Maldini?
No.
Raul, I love your question, dude. I really do, but no.
Colombo and Maldini need to go out on loan. We do need a striker. We need a right wing. We need someone if Hakan doesn't sign. We might even need someone even if Hakan signs.
And last but not least, TVP, David Fanta from Philadelphia. Good evening, Vinny and Steve. No questions tonight. Just want to say how much I love the way Maldini and Milan are being decisive. This is the class we've been missing for a long time. So thank you, David, and great little video of the First Lady. I saw Happy Memorial Day to all our American
But she's
brothers.
riding that bike from Philly to wherever they are, or no?
Probably. The First Lady, she's all over the place. You know, she wears the pants in that relationship. No, sorry, Dave wears the pants. She wears the belt. Twitter. What do we have on Twitter? Frank the Tank. Ciao ragazzi, it's been a great season. I can't wait for the next one. Let's say we redeem Tonali, Tomori, and Diaz. If you could purchase 3 players from some of the names we have been linked with, who are you getting? As always, keep up the great work. What we are linked. Forget the money, the Paul, Steve. I can still believe there's still 70 people watching us live. It's an hour and a half. You guys are awesome. Linked Berardi,
Bellotti.
Yeah.
Berardi, Bellotti for sure, because I think that fixes the right wing and that other striker that could play 25 plus games.
I like Ilicic. Roberto saying Ilicic, Steve. I would take Ilicic right away.
Ilicic and Domenico Berardi kind of play the same position. Ilicic, you can move him around. That's why. But again, these are guys.
We need rotation.
They come with age, though. Ilicic, Gomez, they come with age. We forget guys like Pessina. You know, someone that was from Milan trying to bring him back. I don't know. It's tough, guys. We need a lot. This team. I'm going to repeat. I said at the beginning, I'm not trolling. This team right now, the way we're set up, is not good enough to pass the group stage of the Champions League.
And you know, Steve, I thought there was one question on Twitter. So thank you for that, guys. Thank you for sticking around with us. Steve, we said our feel-good moment. We said about David. I'm just going to go very quickly. Guys, if you didn't take a look, go see what Seedorf said about... forget what he said about Donnarumma. He just took me back, Steve, to the Milan-Novara game. And I still have the last 2 minutes of that game on my phone when people scored and Pippo Mio, and everybody. That was the last game for everybody. And how guys that are crying and everything is just like, I know it's become, a business, but fuck, take me back. And we keep on joking with Marco and Rafa about wrestling. It's like, take me back, because make me believe, and just took me back to that beautiful game in 2012.
That game, you know what? I read the Seedorf thing. That's someone speaking that passed through those times. These kids and these players will never pass through those times. We will never get those times back.
It's just he was basically saying,
but everybody can write what they want. Everybody has made that type of decision in their career. If you're playing at that level, maybe not in the millions of dollars, but everybody's made that decision.
But he was basically saying, like, you're going to be playing as a player, not like as a fan. And I get what he was saying, but those days are over. Are they not, Steve? It's over.
It's over. But again, I agree with. I know I read these things and I take them for for what they are.
You know me, I love Seedorf.
Yeah, but you have to treat everybody equally. Seedorf, he's an Interist. He left Inter to come to Milan.
And he still proclaimed his love for Milan all these years after, Steve.
Okay, but it's fine. But he moved. Zlatan moved from Juve, Milan, Inter. You want me to continue?
No, I understand that. But why is Seedorf always talking about Milan and not talk about Real Madrid and not talk about He's always talking about Milan? It's the love.
Because we follow Milan. But I've seen Seedorf talk about Ajax. I've seen him talk about Real Madrid. He has history with those teams, and it's okay. Why is it okay for Seedorf, but not okay for someone like Donnarumma?
What? No, but his whole conversation, Steve, was not that. He was just saying, basically, you will go to another team. That's fine. He wasn't trashing his decision. He was just saying, like, to the team that you came up with, the youth system. To me, I just looked at that. Forget the memory of the Novara game. Is that those days are over? We keep on saying it, but it's sometimes it's hard to believe. Those days are over.
It's hypocritical because he did that to Ajax. It's hypocritical, Vinny. I'm sorry, you like these guys. Me too, I like them. But when they're hypocritical, you call them out. He did the exact same thing to Ajax.
Did he play with Ajax for 10 years?
Did he grow up through Ajax?
Yes, he did.
Is he a youth product of Ajax?
Yes.
Did he leave Ajax?
Yes.
Hard stop. Hard stop.
Can you let me enjoy Seedorf, please? Just let me enjoy Seedorf.
That's hypocritical. I hate those things. You cannot come out and say, oh, I can't believe you did that. You did the same thing. You did the same thing.
He didn't say you can't believe. You just basically made a fact.
You're protecting him now. You're protecting. The point is, Vinny, it's hypocritical because
Can you let me enjoy Seedorf, goddammit?
But I'm sorry. You guys, everybody brings these things up and they go, oh, I love Seedorf. Seedorf's the best. My God, Seedorf, what a great guy. Oh, could you believe what he wrote to Donnarumma?
I don't know if Donnarumma has seen our farewell be Milan Novara. The tears were many. The fans made us feel important for the last time. Being a Milan player is worth more than anything else. Refusing 8 million at 21 is a lack of respect for the club that raised you. He hasn't said anything wrong so far. Milan have found a great replacement. I hope Donnarumma's choice has no repercussions on his future. Has not said nothing bad yet. Before he played for Milan, the team he supports. Now he will have to play in another club for an economic and not a sporting aspect.
He did the same thing. He did the same thing. He played for Ajax. He left Ajax. It's the club that grew. It's the
club Ajax that offer him. Did Ajax offer him this kind of money?
The times are different, Vinny. I'm sorry. This hypocritical bullshit and this fairy bullshit that we have as Milan fans, that no one else, we choose who's great and who's not great. Everybody does the same thing. They leave for money. So him sitting over there saying something that he did exactly the same reason. He left Ajax for money. He was already a Champions League winner.
Steve, I don't think that Seedorf was playing the fucking game with Ajax and go, no, I want this money and this money and this money. And then he said, fuck you, and I'm going to leave for nothing. Don't compare Seedorf to that, Steve. Come on.
Yes, it's the same thing. Did he leave for money?
He left.
Did he leave Ajax for money? Did he leave Ajax for money? Answer the question.
Madrid,
did he leave Ajax for money?
Excuse me. If Real Madrid made an offer to Ajax for that money and he took it, was it the same thing as Gigio saying, no, Ajax, I want $7 million a year now instead of 3?
Yeah, but
no, I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait.
No, now you're turning it to the way to make yourself right. He didn't say that. He said the team that grew him up.
Yes.
Now he's going to have to play somewhere else for economical reasons.
Because he made that choice.
No, and so did Seedorf.
But if Seedorf, what's the difference?
So why didn't Seedorf say, no, I don't want to be sold?
An example. If Barcelona would have came last year to Milan and say, I want to offer you $60 million for Gigio, whose fault would it have been? Gigio's or Milan's?
It's no one's fault. It's just the way the game is played.
So if Ajax got an offer for Real Madrid, just like Milan got an offer for Ibra and Thiago Silva, I don't see how you're comparing both of them, Steve.
But they left for money.
They did not leave for money. They got offered.
But they left. No one offered anything. No one offered anything for Gigio. That's great. But you cannot sit there and say, stay for economical reasons when you left Real Madrid and you got paid.
If Seedorf would have stayed at Ajax for $2 million a year when somebody else was offering him 8, I could understand. But if Donnarumma gets the exact same fucking salary he's getting right now and his gamble didn't pay off,
well, that's his problem. But that's not what we're talking about. Is people are coming out and saying he's moving for economical reasons. The other players, they moved for economical reasons.
Yes, but you cannot compare a team like Ajax, Steve.
No. Okay, you're right.
No, I'm not saying
right.
We're having a discussion.
Right. No, but it's not a discussion.
You're saying that Seedorf did the same thing as Donnarumma.
It's the same thing.
No, Donnarumma did not move for more money.
So why
Donnarumma
Okay, I'll give you an example. Why don't you do like Roos from Borussia Dortmund?
What did he do?
He didn't want to move to Bayern Munich. He said, I will never play for Bayern Munich.
Okay.
Why didn't Seedorf do that for Ajax?
Because maybe Roos was getting enough fucking money for it.
Maybe this, maybe that. And we're playing the smallest violin in the world. Let's make it all perfect. Milan is perfect, ladies and gentlemen. Milan is perfect.
I still love Seedorf.
I love him too. But you cannot go and say,
I'm sorry, I disagree. It's a completely different from that.
Of course, it's a different thing because we want it to be different.
So Baggio moved to Juventus on his own fucking will, correct? Did Baggio move to Juventus on his own will?
Baggio moved because Baggio needed to move away from Fiorentina to a better team. And again, for money.
Seedorf, same thing. You're comparing that to Donnarumma.
In the end, it's for money.
Donnarumma took a gamble, Steve, because it ain't about money. Nobody's going to pay him $8 million a year. Watch. Nobody's going to pay him that money.
But maybe someone will.
We'll still see. Nobody's going to pay him. I have a feeling from over there.
It's money.
Is this our first hour and 40 minutes podcast? Probably. Any closing words this Thursday, you, Steve, with Evangelistas? That's what President said. Stay tuned. Turn those subscriptions on. Any closing words, CVP guys? Thank you for sticking around. I can't believe, Steve, there's still 72 people still live watching us.
Forza Milan.
Guys, Forza Milan. We shall see each other. Stay tuned. Look at the subscriptions. Thumbnails will be up if we have any videos coming up. And ovunque e sempre.
Forza Milan.
Forza Milan, guys.